No one's out to witness. So it's like a triple lie. I came back and I ended up in the same spot that the cop was. Remember, I told you he went across me. We didn't do anything but just make a little circle, a little square, because they're blocks. We just made a square. I'm in the same spot that the cop was in. Normally, when you drive into an area, any other time when people enter a area in parallel reality that where they were compromised or lied on, that kind of sets an alarm off. You know, it's a time where the government, it triggers like what really took place then, and oftentimes the elite will want to know what really happened, you know, because of what it triggers. You know, they notice a sudden change in their moods. They can't maintain. But because they're always lying on me, they're killing my battery. I had 100%. Let me hurry up. They say she about to smoke a black and mild and people gonna lose their mind. 15%. Get real. So this is Russell and Boulevard. That's black and mild smoke. This is, I'm not gonna have nowhere to put this mild out. It says she's sabotaging people. People know that she's able to navigate her way around the city and they've been lying on her. I just returned from out of state. Do you think I needed a GPS to get to where I was going? Unless it was an area unknown. Like when I went to Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, like that was my first time back in like a decade and a half. That's a decoy right there. That car that's sticking out of the driveway. I had uncles that used to stay right there next to that place. You hear that scratching noise? That's my front water on the right side, on the left side, my side, the driver's side. They tamper with everything. He sold me the brakes and rotors at 60%, and they ruined them at 2,000 miles. I wanted to go that way. Can you? Maybe it's a symbol. So I returned to South Main Street, went across East Miller. I'm on East Miller. I'm putting this black and mild out. They said I control everything around me and they make people think otherwise. Parallel reality. They removed one of the pins from my undercarriage on my right side underneath my rear door. And now it hangs. It appeared that I hit something. They were claiming that I got into an accident on my way to Georgia. And then they used the icing from my cake to make blood. Chocolate icing. Turned red and it looked like real blood. Okay, this is East Miller. I normally turn right here and go past the county. But I kept straight. I normally try to avoid Family Dollar on East Miller because there's coverts in place that make extreme attacks there based on the lies that they're being fed. And they feed them, think about it, these federal agents are feeding them these lies to themselves and making attacks on my DNA. We're on Grant Street now. Now the rest of the trip, it showed that I went near Firestone Park. It didn't show that I stopped at the library there. It showed that I just made a square, that I circled the block. It didn't show me being on Lindenwood, which is where they were claiming that I knew a guy that's my mom's age, because they were calling me my mom. That's where a lot of the fat attacks came from. They said they were doing the same thing to me that they did to her, making sure no one responded to what they were doing and changing her appearance. So when I got up here and I turned on the Upland Avenue because I was about to go to my apartment, I seen that Kelly Bunce was in place. Not her daughter, but Kelly herself. And I decided to keep going because of that. So I rode and I kept going. Are they outside right now? Nope, they're not outside like they were. And then I turned up Sherman and took the route that I walked for years to the library before they made sure that I couldn't surface there. That's where they saved the guy's life with magic. I'm going to start going a little faster because I know that 15% is wearing thin. Up there, I don't know if you see that part with those lights on. That's a decoy. Represents someone that they inverted. Someone who's doing something they were never able to do. So they change the lives into the folks that you come across in customer service and all kind of things. Manufacturing, all kind of stuff, factory jobs. Okay, right here is where I made a right onto Lindenwood. This second house on the right is where that guy lives that I was telling you about that they were using. And he showed up at my apartment where he didn't even know that I stayed. On more than one occasion, he began to panic about no one looking at the situation the way that they claimed. It's the White House on the left. I turned around like this. Turned back onto Astor. Avenue. The library is right here on the right. That's how I came across him, from going to the library all the time. And then we found out that I knew his people and he knew a few of mine. You see that car? That's a decoy. I turned into the library. Okay, it says I have 5%. So that was 10. I pulled over here. I connected to the Wi-Fi here just for paper trail. And then I took off. And I went down here. They didn't want to show that the folks that stayed directly across the street from me were the ones, the agents that stayed directly across the street from me were the ones that stole my cell phone after she found out that I rejected her boyfriend. Her boyfriend came on to me and she wanted to paint it as otherwise, to not feel or look at him the way that she was supposed to. And this Firestone Park that I'm riding around, that's the elementary school, the first elementary school that I went to. And I've talked about that in other videos, so I'm not going to revisit it now. I passed Bellows and I made a left up here on Grant Street. There was a car that almost ran me off the road when I made this left-hand turn. It didn't slow down. It squashed between me and that other vehicle. And they were claiming that I was the one driving reckless. Oh man, I gotta hurry up so you can see what this trip says. I think the phone's gonna die. This video might have to have a part